On Monday, we celebrated the feast of the apostle and gospel writer St. Matthew. We celebrated the story of a conversion. Matthew himself in his gospel tells us what it was like, this encounter which changed his life. On a day like any other, as Matthew the tax collector was seated at his table, Jesus passed by, saw him, came up to him and said, "Follow me and be my disciple." Jesus looked at him, and how strong was the love in that look of Jesus, which moved Matthew to do what he did. What power must have been in his eyes to make Matthew get up from his table. Matthew collected taxes from his fellow Jews to give to the occupying power of the Roman Empire. Tax collectors were looked down upon and considered sinners. As such, they lived apart and were despised by others. Jesus, on the other hand, stopped. He didn't keep his distance. He looked at Matthew calmly, peacefully. He looked at him with eyes of mercy and chose him. He looked at him as no one had ever looked at him before. And this look unlocked Matthew's heart. It set him free. It healed him. It gave him hope, a new life, as it can to each of us. Each of us can say, "I too am a sinner whom Jesus has looked upon with mercy and chosen." Just be still for a moment and recall with gratitude and happiness those situations, that moment when the merciful gaze of Jesus was felt in your life. After the Lord looked upon him with mercy, Matthew is no longer the same. He's changed inside. The encounter with Jesus and his loving mercy has transformed him. He leaves behind his table, his money, his exclusion. Before, he'd sat waiting to collect taxes, to take from others. Now, with Jesus, he must get up and give himself to others. For Matthew, and for all who felt the gaze of Jesus, other people are no longer to be lived off, used and abused. As he did with Matthew, Jesus can see beyond outward appearances, beyond sin, beyond failures, beyond unworthiness. He sees beyond all of this to our dignity as sons and daughters of his Father, our Father. Yes, a dignity that is at times tainted by sin, but one which endures to the depth of our soul. He came to seek out all those who feel unworthy of God, unworthy of others. Let us allow Jesus to look at us. Let us allow that look to become our joy, our hope, and our healing as he calls us to follow him. His gaze transforms our way of seeing things. His heart transforms our hearts. Let us gaze upon Jesus, the face of the Father's mercy. And in that exchange of glances, it will change our lives forever.